Hello, dear ones. Welcome to your March 2024 update. This is a big transformational month. We're going to rock and roll with eclipses, first eclipse of the year and the first eclipse in the new eclipse cycle of Pisces and Virgo in Vedic Astrology. In this video, I'm going to share with you about all the transits this month. There's quite a few, how to navigate those transits, how to stay grounded during this time of huge shifts, and what the great transformation is for you. Hi, I'm Prema and welcome to Chart Your Path. I am so glad that you are here. I so appreciate you liking, subscribing, leaving me a comment. It all helps to get the video out there to more people, and I appreciate you so much for being here. We start the month with Saturn-Sun in Aquarius combustion in Vedic astrology until March 14th. So around, leadership issues, maybe around your energy as well, especially if you've got, Sun, Moon in Leo or in Aquarius, you could feel a little burnt out. Maybe things aren't moving as fast as you'd like on what you're committed to. No worries, self-care, and this shall pass, and then you can start to feel more energy and move forward. But we can see struggles in leadership in that first half of the month still. March 7th, we have two major transits going on. We've got Mercury moving into the very transformational spiritual sign of Pisces, and we've got Venus moving into the very innovative social justice and ideals sign of Aquarius. Mercury is our great communicator. It's also our great messenger, and especially in this particular position, really leaning into the messenger. It's technically debilitated here in Pisces. It's the end of the zodiac. It's the 12th house. It's a place where we're dissolving into oneness. It's where, barriers and boundaries are let down. And Mercury, the great communicator, being a planet that rules our intellect, that rules our ability to analyze things, be clear, be specific, get our thoughts in order, communicate those thoughts. And it's a very sort of blurry, non-specific period of time because our logical brain isn't working so well with Mercury in this position. Mercury's going to be here for almost 2 months because it will retrograde in this. It'll retrograde in Aries and then slip back into this position. It's going to get caught up with the eclipse pattern. We're going to go through all of it. No worries. This is good for sort of thinking out of the box. Like, Mercury's debilitated here, but so was Albert Einstein had a Mercury that was debilitated. Couldn't match his socks, but there was a lot of things outside the realm of normal thinking that he could tune into and figure out. So this is a great time in Pisces, which is this place of spirituality and transcendence, to lean into your intuition. What are the messages coming through from the other side? Out of the box type thinking. That is how you're going to problem solve. We're going to process information and share our information a little differently in this placement. You're going to want to tune in with your heart. Let those intuitive hits come through. Journal, sit in meditation, get in nature, stay grounded, of course, and be aware of what your story is. You want to be getting your story straight, and because things are kind of blurry, sometimes what our personal story is or what's really going on, we can get a little murky during this time. So you'll need the time to tune in and bounce what you're believing about your personal story or the story that's going on against what is really true. Pisces asks us to surrender. Surrender is not giving up. Surrender is giving ourselves up to. I have a whole training on this in my solutionary blueprint. It is a very feminine principle, and it leads to greater trust in ourselves, greater trust in the universe, trust in the divine, in our universal self. We're looking to feel and sense and experience what's beyond this form. that we see 3D world in front of our eyes, which is just a sliver of what is really going on. So there's not necessarily a logical sequence to things when we are in Pisces, and we're going to have the eclipses here. We're going to have all the planets moving into Pisces. So it's very important to understand this energy. We're very empathic when we are in Pisces. This is where, again, everything gets a bit blurry, and because we want to dissolve into oneness. So you need to listen to your heart, not your head, with this Mercury in this position. Lean into your spiritual devotion. Pisces is a very devotional sign, but what are you devoted to? If you're devoted to checking out, that's the shadow side. If you're devoted to really understanding more of who you truly are, consciousness, gratitude, what can you give? What is your spiritual devotion? This is a place of bhakti. Chanting is one of the reasons I bring chanting into our full moon healing circles. This is a very devotional type of a practice. Nature. Get into nature, stay grounded, give yourself some more quiet time with the energy we have going into Pisces, so that you can really hear what is true, and you can hear the messages that are coming through. Be careful of taking on other people's energy. You want to protect yourself energetically from that, and you're going to find your way from the inside out, not with your analytical mind so much with this energy going on. Now, Rahu, the magician who is in Pisces, the north node of the moon, can really pull us forward and bring opportunities and shifts and really change our path, but it can lead to a lot of complication and intoxication with things. It's imperative to stay surrendered, and that's, again, tuning in and not attached so much to the material world. And that's what the magician wants us to do. It's pulling us into the world. It's, master of manifestation, but it can manifest in a lot of different ways. And we want to stay working with the light. And we want to watch our attraction and to shiny objects and how we might get hooked in by things. Now, again, there's a lot of planets, and we'll have an eclipse at the beginning of April happening in Pisces. So it's important to understand this energy. March 7th, Venus is going to move into Aquarius. Now, Venus is our great connector, but it is also very much, the artist as well. And with this energy, Venus wants to connect in again around our social purpose. Remember the Aquarius energy, how we are connecting in socially, our higher ideals that we can see for the collective. How do we want to share what our soul purpose is with others? And how can we connect in with our tribe, connect in for a purpose? That is what Saturn asks us to do, that owns Aquarius and is in Aquarius during this time. You are going to want to connect in with people who share similar beliefs and ideas. And this is going to give you an opportunity to do that, but you'll probably do it in a more practical and kind of serious way. Like, you want to connect in for a purpose. We're called to connect in more with our tribe. We all are a different color in this tapestry of life, of consciousness, and we are meant to connect with others because we're better together on some things, but we need to be in alignment with those and their thoughts. So who is your community? Who is your tribe? Who do you want to share your ideas, your ideals, your purpose with? New networks, a great time. So say yes to opportunities to connect in with people. Venus will be here from the 7th all the way till the last day of the month. And this gives you an opportunity to really also not only connect in with new people, organizations, your tribe, or connect in deeper with the ones you already have established. This is also, going to call forth your inner artist. How can you do that creatively? How can you, and if you are an artist, you're going to want to connect in with others, and maybe new projects will come about from that. Again, with Venus, we want to be careful of being too attached, and Saturn is going to keep you from being too attached in this position. It's actually going to show us in our relationships where we maybe are too attached. Saturn's going to ask us to focus more on our ways that we can connect in together and less about our personal desire. So mutual benefit instead of personal desire. On March 10th, we have a new moon in Aquarius in Purva Bhadrapada. I will make an update for that new moon. It's at 26 degrees. We've had several new moons at 26 degrees of the sign the new moon was happening in. So very interesting to have planets around 26 degrees. This, of course, will be a new beginning, a restart. It's Aquarius, the same energy I was just talking about, social. This is also very innovative placement. So, starting something new is going to be up for you, whether that's new around who you're connecting in with. But this will be a restart in your connections and your innovations. And I'll bring you an update around that. March 14th. The sun moves into Pisces. We're officially in Pisces season, and the sun is going to start to feel stronger, and as it has moved away from Saturn. Now, this really is calling you, again, to connect with your intuition, your spirituality, and to lead from that place. This is, the energy of the great leader, and there's the leader. And really asking you to lead from the inside out, lead from the heart. And on a spiritual level, how are you leading, or what are you here to lead? This is also where the solar eclipse will take place in Pisces on April 8th. I will bring you an update about that. And this is, again, the last sign of the zodiac where we want to dissolve into things. And then once the sun moves into Aries in mid-April, that is the start of the new Vedic year, the beginning of a new cycle, the new zodiac. So this is, the sun is helping us with our endings and releasing before the new cycle. It's a time for cleansing and clearing and detoxing. In fact, that even boils down to, spring cleaning. What do you need to clear on the inside, your beliefs? What do you need to clear on the, in your life, in the world? What does Pisces represent for you in your chart? If you do not know what your sun, your moon, what your Vedic chart is, then the link down below is to my chart calculator, and you can find out what it is there for you. You will also get a nice guide to reading your chart, and also there's also the link to the Sacred Wealth Code quiz and find out what one of your archetypes is. I've been showing you the archetypes here as well. So with this energy of the sun being in Pisces, remember the answers are inside for you, and your soul knows. The heart is the portal. So again, lean into your spiritual practice. I know you're maybe tired of hearing me say that, but that is the energy of this month, very much so. Connecting in with others and leaning into our spiritual practice. March 15th, Mars moves into Aquarius. And after all the hard work that Mars has been doing, our great engineer, our great honorable warrior, but in this placement in Aquarius, very much our strategist, is after all that hard work and commitment we've been doing with Mars being exalted in Capricorn, which it'll still be until the 15th of the month, then it moves into the innovative social sign of Aquarius that we've been talking about. And it's a great time to innovate your life. Take action on what you've been working on, what you've been committed to, connect in with others, and take the action to actually do that. Meet the right people and keep moving forward, but in the sharing of ideas. And as long as you are connected to sharing those ideas from what you're committed to, moving your social purpose forward, that's perfect. Mars can be a little fussy. can be a little bit argumentative in this placement, in this air sign. So just be aware of that and make sure that you are not leaning into being argumentative, and you sidestep that if that's what somebody else's agenda happens to be, instead of arguing about, who's right or what what you're working on or your purpose or your ideas are the way to go. Just look for the people who are already there. And you don't need to sell anybody or convince anybody. Find those who are already in alignment with you. So step back from pushing your personal agenda and keep the vision. Keep your eye on what the greater vision is, and move forward with that and connect with those that can help to move that forward. On March 17th, the Sun and Neptune will conjunct. And this can be really a very intuitive transit, heighten intuition. It can really clear out some blocks and help you to connect in through the other side, very otherworldly connections. But it also could lead to some serious escapism. So, instead of checking out, and whether that's through gaming or alcohol or binging or whatever that is, instead of checking out, check in. With all the transits that are moving into Pisces, we're getting a lot of opportunity to check in, feel through what's coming through the other side, but we have to be willing to get unhooked from all the information coming at us in order to get those gifts. On March 17th as well, we've got the Rahu-Mercury conjunction. Now, this is, the communicator and the magician together. And we've already talked about the Mercury energy in Pisces, but you're going to really want to stay grounded and watch out for emotional triggers during this time. Your thinking won't be very clear, and it'll be even less clear during this conjunction. You could feel very restless and anxious, and especially, again, like if Pisces is your ascendant, for instance, and those of you who have a Pisces ascendant, are kind of in a 1.5-year pattern of feeling kind of anxious and restless, and you want to make the right decisions, but this is not a time to make big decisions during this conjunction and the days right around it. So watch out for getting sucked into illusions. Opportunities could pop up, and they could be good for you, but it's not the time to make the decision about it because you won't see it so clearly during that conjunction time. Instead, lean into your intuition, lean into, meditation. Open up to, the veil is very thin here, so open up to the messages that are coming through the other side. Venus and Saturn are going to conjunct in Aquarius. The dates, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, those dates you might feel pressure in your relationships, in what you're desiring in your connections with others, Venus being the great connector. And Saturn, the planet of truth and consequences, really reveals the truth and shows you the consequences you're living with because of the choices you've made around relationship. And it really wants to wake you up to reality so that you do whatever work you need to grow to have the kinds of relationships you want. It's a time of more commitment around relationship, and that could be very good for you as well. Venus and Saturn do well together, and it's just a more serious note as far as the relationship goes. So if you're in a relationship, where can you commit deeper? What do you need to do within yourself to shift to do that? And not just looking at the other and pointing your finger. And if you're not in a relationship, an intimate relationship, you've got some kinds of relationships. So this plays out in all relationships. But if you've chosen to be alone on some level at this point in time, it's a good time to reconnect with what you actually want in relationships, and how can, you make the shift to bring the kind of commitments in that you want to have. First lunar eclipse of the year, first eclipse of the year, March 25th. And I will do an update for this as well, but just a snapshot here that this is in Virgo in Hasta Nakshatra. This is a major transformation, activating our emotions and releasing patterns of attachment. Virgo, the details of life, healing. It's a natural sixth house of the zodiac. And you know, this is a time where there's going to be unexpected things happening. So you want to keep your schedule kind of free around this time. It is an emotional cleansing, as lunar eclipses tend to be, and they're asking us to let go. This is the mystic, the south node of the moon, brings things up from the past, but also asks us to relinquish and release what's keeping us from walking closer with the divine in this particular area of life, whatever Virgo rules for you, and also, you know, in general on the sixth house. So again, you can find that out through the chart calculator. I'm also doing a special on eclipse readings. The link is down below, and we can talk about what these eclipses for the next year and a half are going to be for you personally, and the changes that you are up for and need to be prepared for. And I will bring you an update on that. On March 31st, Venus will move into Pisces and be exalted and be with Rahu, the magician. So then we've got the connector with the magician in Pisces, the transformational sign of Pisces. And so a lot of planets in Pisces asking us to surrender, to tune in instead of out, to you know, get more devotional in our practice, get more devotional in our life, and more surrendered, so that we can, you know, reach through the veil, touch into that higher consciousness aspect part of ourself, and transcend what's not serving us. So Venus in this placement is, you know, very much the muse. It's a lot of information tuning in, coming in out of the box creative kinds of ways. Great for art as well. Venus wants beauty, and in this position, it's very much the non-personal aspect of connecting, of love, of the divine. And so Venus can be a planet that's attached, has a lot of desire and is attached, but in this placement, it's more that love and that connection in with the divine, and great for your intuition, your inspiration, your creativity with the artist. Time to open up to your gifts of being an empath, and you'll be able to feel a lot. So again, you're going to need to take the time away also, and not be so connected into things that can come into your energetic field that are not going to serve you. That's people, that's places, that's programming, media. So you're going to be extra sensitive with all this energy in Pisces. And one of the shadow sides here you need to watch out with in relationship is the connector. You know, Venus can always be looking at the grass is always greener on the other side, desires more and wants more. And that's a little more of the shadow side of Venus and Pisces. So just lean into connecting with the divine more than trying to get more out of the connections that you have with people. If you're in a very, conscious relationship, spiritual relationship, it's a great time to take that to the next level. But again, the practices of devotion, bhakti, meditation, chanting, gratitude, service, these are the things to really lean into. You're going to want to stay grounded this month, and it's a very transformational time. So we need to keep ourselves planted in the grounded energy of the earth and be really open to what wants to come through for you, but also sensitive to not taking on energy that really isn't going to serve you. April 8th, we'll have the total solar eclipse. I'll bring an update for that. And we're going to have a Mercury retrograde starting next month. So lots going on. So take really good self-care of yourself. It's a creative time. Connect in with the right people, but be very sensitive to who you can connect in with, that you can uplift you, and maybe where it's not useful to connect in with others. I love your comments. They help so much. If you're wanting a reading, an eclipse reading, or any of my other readings, links are down below. All the free resources are there as well, including links for the oracle cards, the book, and I will be bringing you the next update. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and the next update will be on the new moon. All right, so much love to you.